Greetings, comrades. Alright, I don't know how your camera angle is, but it doesn't really matter. I'm in a thread on DMT on poll, and it's absolutely chock full. It's going to reach bump limit. I just don't even know where to start here, other than, here, let's start here. This video is going to cause some serious butthurt. I don't know if it's going to be for any of my followers, but as soon as you type DMT into a title or tags, you're going to get people coming here, oh, dude, you don't have any understanding, like, you're so lost, if only you weren't so filled with hate and misconception, and you need to open your perception, and it's coming, bros. Get fucking ready. I mean, here's all that really needs to be said in this video. These people get fucking high on drugs, and then they start talking down to people like they fucking know everything. One of the directions I wanted to take with this video is I should really get around to reading Kant's Critique of Pure Reason. It would be silly for me to act like I have a super deep understanding of what Kant is getting into in that book, you know. My philosophy professor, he was saying that he took like a master's class on it, and he said it took him like a year to read through that book. So Kant is no joke, and even though I haven't read Kant, my perspective on him is already starting to change. You know, I always thought of his critique on pure reason, because it's like, it really is what the title sounds like. It's like, how can we know that what we're experiencing is leading us toward truth? And the way I always saw it was like, oh, he's opening this portal for subjectivity, like there can be no objective reason, and this just creates this like postmodernist wormhole that everything gets sucked into, and you know, now we have the gender spectrum. That's kind of how I always saw it. But then I see these people who take drugs like DMT, and this post I'm about to read is from someone who took salvia. Now, something else I wanted to put in the video was my limited drug experience. I'll save that for later, but basically I've smoked salvia. I have not smoked DMT. I've taken acid, shrooms, that's about it. I think I took some test chemicals on accident once, but so these people are experiencing something, right? They're having an experience on these drugs, and they're trying to derive some sort of truth from that experience. Much can be said the same for empiricism altogether, the scientific method. They're saying our best knowledge comes from testing of the physical world. You know, empirical testing, empirical results. So when I start looking at it in this way, I start to think, maybe Immanuel Kant is fucking based. Because what he's saying is that our experience of the physical world might not really mean that much. You know, there's what I think this grip strength machine is, and then there's what it actually is. There's what it appears to be, and then there's what it actually is. Now, I'm just going to say hypothetically, you know, I'm trying not to be like overly preachy with my Christian views. I know some people can't stand it. You have to understand, guys, I was an occultist for years. I hated the fucking Bible for a long time. So that's kind of why I know how people are feeling when I try to preach my Christian beliefs. But it's like, let's just say that God interfered with the world at one point, and he gave us an instruction manual. And he said in that instruction manual, I know that it seems like the world is this certain way, but it's actually this certain way. So that would mean that everything we're experiencing isn't the truth. And what God said is the truth is the truth. Now, obviously, that's what I believe. I believe that our best ability, the proper epistemology, is to listen to what God says, okay? Not our empirical experience, not by testing and, oh, you know, we figured out that the dirt is made out of this, and we figured out that glass is made out of this, so, you know, that must mean something, or we're going to prove this by all this testing of this physical stuff that's around us. And Also it kind of seems like Hegel's phenomenology. When Hegel talks about the difference between noumenology and phenomenology, again, I need to read so fucking much philosophy, guys. I'm reading this book right now, Ancient Philosophy by Gordon Clark, which is on Southern Israelites reading list. It's making me think, man, I need to make flashcards. I want to put posters on my wall that help me memorize some of these things. Philosophy is no fucking joke, man. The people who are like laughing at philosophy majors, yeah, there's a really good chance you're not going to make any money, but they're not fucking dumb, dude. Especially if you get like a good philosophy education. It's no fucking joke, dude. I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling with it, but yeah, so here's me trying to understand Kant, trying to understand Hegel. Hegel says that there's the phenomenology and the noumenology. Phenomenology is like what something appears to be, and then noumenology is what it is. And basically all empiricism is what things appear to be. Okay, I'll end that rant on philosophy right there. Because when you take DMT, some fucking crazy experience that you literally have no possible way of understanding begins. You have absolutely no idea what's happening. Now let's take somebody like Joe Rogan and put them under the microscope, okay? See, what I was about to say is that the more you go through this experience, like you do it once and you're like, I don't understand. I want to do it again. I want to do it again. Because the people in this thread are trying to talk about breaking through, okay? Ah, fuck, I wanted to... Why did this do this? I wanted it to be full screen. Whatever, I'm going to put you back over here. Okay. So they're all trying to talk about breaking through, and they keep coming back and doing more DMT, more and DMT. Basically, just like any other drug, all right? It's like it keeps you coming back. So let's look at somebody like Joe Rogan, okay? Now, I've been meaning to talk about his first stand-up special because I think that is one of the most devastatingly atheist things that has ever hit America, that has ever hit the world, man. He goes on this big rant about how a retard, like if you talk to a retarded kid about Noah's Ark, even he would supposedly know that it's bullshit. Joe Rogan is making arguments against the Bible in his fucking stand-up routine. And he's just making a bunch of noises like a fucking buffoon. And he's convincing millions and millions and millions of the people that the Bible is retarded, okay? So it's not just a harmless stand-up routine. Oh, you're just trying to do... Like, no, dude. He is a fucking powerful agent of atheism. So now... So me trying to attack Joe Rogan, I'm going to do it right now. Because this is actually a really powerful video for my entire platform. I didn't really realize it was going to be this powerful, but it's like, okay, so why is Joe Rogan wrong about the Bible? Well, I've made a point on my channel to attack consistent atheists. To be a consistent atheist, nothing has a purpose, everything is an accident, everything is explained by evolution, okay? That is your one theory that you have that is the greatest. It's what you have to explain all of the purpose of existence, right? Because without evolution, it's like, why is there so much purpose everywhere? Because a God designed everything. Evolution is your best bet of explaining how that came to be. Now, Joe Rogan, Mr. The Bible is so fucking stupid. Has anybody heard his rants on DMT? I know I have. I was a fan of Joe Rogan for years. I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, probably by his first 50 or to 100 episodes. He says, oh, when you smoke DMT, there's like these geometric patterns that communicate to you in love and understanding, and you realize that everything's okay, and like all your old bullshit is on one folder, and then the new you's on another folder. So we have this document in the Bible that's thousands and thousands of years old. And that's fucking stupid because Mr. DMT head says so. And now everybody's got their jaws dropped in awe because Joe Rogan smoked DMT. And now he's going to tell us about the truth. Thank you, Joe Rogan. Thank you for telling me the objective truth because you fucking smoke DMT all the time. And he tells you, oh, I'm fucking stuttering because this is a good fucking video right here. He tells you that he has done it so many times, dude. And Alex Jones talks about the DMT elite. They want to smoke the DMT and communicate with the... Look, Alex Jones is a fucking shill, but he's trying to help, guys. He's in this complicated scenario where, you know that video of him at Bohemian Grove? Ever since then, he's been fucked. He's been compromised. He's done. He's a shill ever since then because that was real. That was a real ritual that he was fucking filming, dude. So he wants to help, man, but he can't. So he tries. His heart is in the right place. Joe Rogan is a perfect example of what he's talking about. And let me read you this post. This is what it all comes down to, this post right here. He says, in response to this OP talking about DMT and trying to break through, he says, take salvia. You will eventually break through. This place is actually hell. The demiurge are actually terrified and in awe of what the fuck happens here. They basically stopped interfering and they have left us to our own devices. We exist in an infinite 3 to 4 torus that is infinity. It exists. Outside that is a kind of mainframe from which we are observed. Every even that has happened and will happen is recorded, but you can only perceive the happening and the happened. Everybody's jaws fucking dropped. Everybody's like complimenting this guy. I think we may be the only universe, or at least a layer in the multiverse. As far as I can tell, Earth is creating an egregore psychic gestalt, the likes of which no other species in light years has achieved, and we are doing it in some of the most brutally efficient and sadistic ways possible. This whole planet is a pain emitter that creates suffering that must be expressed through greater learning and higher achievement, where the ends justify the means, i.e. more suffering. The Buddhists are right. If we cease to suffer, we can escape. If we cease to suffer, there is no progress. The world is being built on stooped backs of sad and broken men. We have built nothing but a psychological Tower of Babel. The tower is human progress. Its stones are wasted lives. We are completely insane. Okay, I'm going to try to wrap this up soon because I think this video will be more powerful if it's short and I don't want to have to edit it. So basically, this is the most respected person in this thread. Everybody's kissing this guy's ass. Like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. He's describing Gnosticism, okay? His breakthrough salvia DMT experience, he thinks that, you know, the demiurge is in control and they're terrified of us. I always say, how are Gnostics going to fight God? Well, apparently he's terrified of us. And then he says, the Buddhists are right. My special friend who's associated with the group that starts with an I that triggers people on poll. And no, it's not the Illuminati. It's a specific branch. Look, if there really is some group that really amounts to the Illuminati, it's probably called Deus Orientis Ampli de Temple of Sing Tang Trong Sing Kang Kla. It's like, dude, it's not called the Illuminati. Whatever group fucking dominates the world with an iron fist. So, fuck all that shit, dude. He told me about what these people believe, these Gnostic, Luciferian, Neoplatonists. Buddhism is not that different than Gnosticism, okay? It's the idea that the world is inherently evil, and you need to like disconnect, and you need to fucking get rid of all your fear, and you need to stop wanting. You need to disconnect from your wants and your attachments. And supposedly, see, Buddhism isn't really a religion; it's a philosophy. And that, when you can like stop acting like it's a religion, I can respect it. Gnosticism is taking the philosophy of Buddhism and turning it into a religion. But it's so much more than that, because it's also Neoplatonism, and holy fuck, there's just no time. But like, so this is what DMT does to you if supposedly you do it right. And he said he did this from smoking salvia. I'll talk about my drug experiences in a different video, man. When I smoked salvia, I told people that it just made me want to walk left. Like, dude, I didn't have any profound experience on salvia at all. So this guy came to the realization that, you know, this world is hell and God is evil and God is scared of us, or the demiurge is scared of us. He says demiurge as in like a plural, like there's more than one of them. That makes shit start to sound like the Matrix, man. And yeah, there is kind of a Gnostic interpretation of the Matrix. That's what my philosophy teacher was talking about. The Buddhists are right, so you need to like detach from everything. It's fucking nonsense, man. I'll have to talk about that in a different video. I think I've painted a pretty interesting picture in this video, guys, and I really want to read Kant's critique of pure reason, because I think I'm starting to understand why Kant is fucking based. Like these people, and it's always science-minded people. I bet some of the people in this thread are the kind of people who make fun of Christians, and some of them are atheists who make fun of Christians, but they secretly think that DMT is the key to all of the answers, and it will show you something. I'm not saying that it's not showing you something that's a real experience, but you don't know what that fucking experience is. It's not based off of scholarship, and the more you keep coming back, you're just fucking fascinated like it until you become what Alex Jones is talking about, and that's what fucking Joe Rogan is, dude. And what does Joe Rogan do? What does this DMT slave do? If you talk to a retarded boy about Noah's Ark, he'd know that it's not real. I mean, dude, it turns you into a fucking Luciferian, Gnostic, Buddhist. Buddhism is like not a religion, though. See, it's similar to Buddhism, but when you start to believe that like this is how you combat God by meditating and detracting from all emotions, you're turning into a Satanist, bro. It's fucking evil. And there's Christians in this thread trying to say drugs show you demonic experiences. You're not supposed to take drugs. And everybody's like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a stupid Christian. Oh, so you're a fucking genius because you're describing your drug experiences to us? Fuck you, you fucking hippies. There's so much more I could say about this, guys. I think I'll have to do a sequel. Deus Vult, comrades. I'll leave you with that. Think about this shit. Think about this. Deus Vult.